Learning to trust my intuition has been this magic gift in my life that helps me make really important decisions and trust myself that I am in line with my highest purpose. If you wish you had a way to be more confident and sure of yourself when it comes to those big life decisions, and you want to know what to say yes to and what to say no to, and really stay in tune with the rhythm of life and what wants to happen, then click that like button and stay tuned for this video. I'm Michelle. I help women truly get what they want out of life. And the ladies that I work with, when they learn to trust their intuition, they become more confident, more empowered, because they stop having to listen to what other people think they should do. And it's like they have their own internal compass to guide them on their journey throughout life. I'm going to share 5 steps for learning how to trust your intuition. Number 5 is the most important, but of course we'll start with number 1. When you want to trust your intuition, the first thing you have to do is learn to distinguish between emotion and intuition. Because here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that every single emotion that you have come up in your body, anger, fear, sadness, I'm not saying that that's how you should navigate your life. In fact, that's the shadow of the feminine, is the archetypal lady who just like constantly expresses and emotes how she feels, and everyone else around her beware. Nobody likes that girl. Nobody wants to be her. This is a big topic, but the difference that I want to highlight right now is that an emotion is really a response to a stimulus. An emotion is actually just a sensation in your body. Like if I'm afraid, I'm gonna feel like tightness in my throat, my heart's gonna beat, I'm gonna have like anxious energy. And the reason it's an emotion is because it has that physical sensation, and then we attach a story onto it. Oh my God, I feel afraid. I'm not gonna be okay. I'm gonna have to run away. Everybody is gonna think and judge me, right? So emotion has a whole bunch of story attached to it, and it's only in response to something that's just occurred. Intuition, on the other hand, is very different. It comes from a place of presence. It comes from a place of quiet and stillness, and it's not in response to a stimulus. And that means that the intuition will continue to be there if you check in at different points in the day or over the week. Intuition might also come as a sensation in your body. It might come as a thought or a voice in your head. It might come as an image. It could come in the form of a dream, or animals or things in nature that give you this sense of knowing something. Or it can also come in serendipities, noticing like patterns or coincidences in life and feeling like there's more to it than just coincidence. This is a really important topic because I think this is why a lot of people don't know how to trust their intuition, is because they don't know how to separate that emotion from intuitive knowing. So if you want a whole other video on that, just comment, pause the video right now, give me a comment, and then subscribe and hit the bell so that you get an alert when that video comes out. After that first step of really getting clear, what is my intuition and what is emotion, and being able to distinguish them, the second step is for you to do more things that get you connected to your intuition. Because intuition comes from presence, you have the opportunity to hear it more when you're doing things that bring you into the present moment. Examples of this are meditation, or being mindful at all during your day, making art, obviously one of my favorites, journaling, being in nature, even just having a big chunk of open time where you really can just do whatever feels good to you. It's actually your intuition that will tell you, ooh, I feel like doing this right now. Ooh, I want to take a bath. I want this. But we need to have that slowness and that calm down time in order to really hear, because intuition speaks in a whisper. All right, step 3 in the process is to ask your intuition's opinion. Now, what I mean by this is intuition is the magic tool that will really help you make big life decisions and feel confident that you're making the right decision for you. But before those big decisions happen, before you've really created a lot of trust between you and your intuitive knowing, you want to give it lots of time to practice and lots of time for you to make those connections stronger between your listening to it and it speaking to you. What this looks like in practice is to first get really comfortable. I like to just do yes or no questions. You can do this. Intuition, show me a yes. What does a yes feel like in my body? Intuition, show me a no. What does a no feel like in my body? For me, I get somatic responses, and so I'm asking for a feeling. If you get visions or colors or sounds, ask for that instead. If you hear things, then say, intuition, let me hear what your yes sounds like. Let me hear what your no sounds like. Okay? So you're basically saying, how are you going to communicate with me? Let's make sure we're on the same page. Once you know that your communication is synced up, then ask it some simple questions. Do I feel like having chocolate right now or some mango? And then allow your body to say yes to chocolate, no to mango, or give you a nudge one way or the other. This seems silly, but we make so many decisions in a day and they're really arbitrary, like even getting in the car, if you always listen to music, what if you just asked yourself first, do I want to listen to music right now or do I not? Would I prefer quiet or would I prefer podcast? This is so small and so simple, but so important because you're really saying, I care how you feel, body. I care what you want, intuition. And it will incredibly strengthen the connection that you have instead of walking around in your mind all the time, just doing things because of habit or because you think you're supposed to, or not listening at all to what you really want. Okay, number 4 comes right after this one. Ask your intuition what it wants, then listen to it. Number 4, listen. If you're going to take the time to check in with your body and your intuition and ask, what would you like most right now? Then you have to listen to what it says, because that is very strengthening. Imagine if somebody asked you your opinion and then didn't listen to you. That's insulting. Like, why do you not care what I think when you just asked me, right? So that's going to sever the relationship further, which we don't need help with that. We've already not been listening to our intuition a lot, right? So connecting is about listening and creating a cycle of like, oh, you have valuable things to say and I'm going to listen to you. So you're going to tell me more things. And that's how the voice will get louder and clearer for you. You want that if you're going to use intuition for the bigger life decisions. Have you ever learned this idea of asking your body or your intuition yes or no questions and really giving it chances to practice in small ways? I'm curious, so give me a comment below if you have or if you haven't. Number 5, the most important, validate. Your intuition needs to be validated, just like any person. It really helps us feel confident. Oh yeah, that person really appreciates me. That's what you want in your relationship to your intuition. And so validation can be in those simple moments when you're like chocolate or mango, and then you're eating the chocolate that your intuition chose for you and it tastes delicious. You can just take a moment and be like, that really was a great choice. I'm so happy I'm having this. Okay, so that's a small practice of validation. Also, if you have an intuitive knowing come up, like, oh, I just know that the mailman's gonna show up right when I'm about to get in the shower, and it happens, you wanna take the time to really stop and label that as your intuitive knowing, because your thinking brain will dismiss it and say that it was just a chance and it wasn't important, it didn't matter. So we have to override that and really name for ourselves, that was my intuitive knowing right there, and how cool was it that I knew something before it happened. And another powerful way to validate is to go back in your life at moments when your intuition was speaking to you, and whether or not you listened to it then, really naming that for yourself now. Wow, I really did have an intuition. I really did know that that person wasn't good for me, whatever it was. Take the time to go back and validate from the past. This is the way to a strong connection between you and your intuition. And I like to think of her as this kind of feminine woman inside of me. And so she's like, oh my God, thank you for finally listening to me and seeing how valuable I am. You know, like she just feels a lot better. That's what you want your relationship to be like. Because then she's going to show up for you more and more because she knows that you're ready to listen now. And another step past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is to repeat this. Repeat this often. It's not enough to spend one day validating your intuition. It's really a practice of creating a strong bond, a strong listening and receiving connection between you and intuition over time. I hope that you found this video helpful, and if you did, hit the like button. It really helps me. Leaving me a comment. Tell me what your number one takeaway was. I love hearing from you, and subscribe to the channel so that you can get more of this important content so that you can continue to reclaim your intuition, your creativity, all the gifts of the feminine so that you've got tons of magic tools in your tool belt.